I really hate my keyboard, so let's make something better.
The plan is to turn my literal hand into the ultimate gaming device, cutting out all the inefficiencies of regular keyboards and fulfilling my dream of becoming a cyborg.
Google, show me this guy's balls, please.
This is so bad. Oh god. I could have just strapped the keyboard to my wrist and called it a day, but that's way too easy. It needs to be more stupid and difficult. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Let's lay out some ground rules. This is an arm, this is a wrist, this is a hand. Nothing outside this area is to be used for input. Second of all, any sort of physical contact is not gonna fly. That means no gloves, no sensors, no wires dangling off my fingers, nothing. And lastly, we're just looking at keyboard here, so let's assume I'm still gonna need another hand free to control the mouse. Our keyboard needs to be entirely one-handed. Well, that seems reasonable, so let's get started. The most important part of any keyboard is the movement keys, W, A, and D, or a joystick on a controller. And of course, the obvious way to convey direction has gotta be by pointing. So all I need is for my computer to turn whatever direction I'm pointing into keyboard presses. Oh my god, this is so stupid. Okay, you can already buy depth sensing cameras from companies like Intel that can be used to take a 3D scan of your hand and turn it into mouse movements, but I don't have one of those. No. This is what we're working with. An original Logitech C920, a webcam from 2012, which is mostly known these days for the audio quality of its included microphone.
Oh, it's so funny, Mike. It makes anything 1,000 times funnier.
So all I need to do, right, is figure out a way to take the video from this piece of and turn it into a usable keyboard. Because the C920 is a regular 2D webcam, it's gonna be basically impossible to do a 3D scan like the Intel cameras can make. We've got a lot less data to work with, and the data that we do have is pretty useless, so that's out of the question. My next idea was to just check the colored specific pixels to detect my fingers, but this would completely break if there was any change in lighting or the camera's auto exposure, and it turned out to be really difficult to actually get my fingers to go to the exact right position. Oh, not to mention I have no idea how to code that in the first place. And before you tell me to just use ChatGPT to figure it out,
that doesn't exist yet. Let me explain. The truth is, I whipped up this monstrosity in about a week right after publishing my last video, but after using the final product, I'd injured my wrist so bad I literally couldn't edit it. Oh, it hurts so much. Like here, my wrist and my arm is in so much pain right now. Oh god. By the time I recovered, I'd already forgotten everything and couldn't bring myself to watch 10 hours of footage just to figure out what I'd done to make a video about it. So there it sat, untouched for 3 years. Yeah. Anyway, ChatGPT might not exist yet, but maybe I could make my own AI.
The direction this video is about to take is completely insane, and for you to truly understand how deranged it is, I do need to give you a little bit of context, but I put some Subway Surfers here in case you get bored. You see, ever since the 1950s, scientists have been trying to give computers the ability to learn like people in the most insane way possible, by literally replicating the way our brains work. The idea is that instead of using computers the way they were intended, by writing step-by-step instructions, you give a bunch of computer-simulated brain cells some input data and your desired output, and it teaches itself the steps to get there through a complicated training and learning process. This is called a neural network because it works by more or less simulating a type of brain cell called a neuron. It also often gets boiled down to the umbrella term of AI by companies that just want to make a quick buck, but the research has been around for a while. Here's a Wired article from almost 10 years ago on how Gmail used neural networks to detect and block spam emails. Instead of trying to write a bunch of filters to match and block every single type of spam, they fed a bunch of examples to a big hungry computer that did all the work for them. So it's 10 years later now, and if we take a quick look at my inbox here, we can see that, oh, it doesn't fucking work. It still doesn't work, but gold star for effort, I guess. The big problem here is that you don't actually get to control the learning process of a neural network. A computer is basically locking itself in a room while it takes in a bunch of input data and tries to learn through trial and error like a literal fucking baby. This means it could end up being super accurate, or it could just learn the wrong thing entirely without you ever knowing how or why.
Researchers don't as yet know how nets learn. This matters because what the net may be learning may not be what the researchers think it's learning.
They took a lot of pictures of tanks more or less hidden behind trees, and trees without any tanks behind them. And they trained a connectionist net to distinguish the set of pictures where there were tanks and the set of pictures where there weren't. And it worked. But then just to make sure, they went out and took some more pictures, and it failed completely. The solution turns out to be that all the pictures with tanks in them were taken on a sunny day, and the picture without tanks were taken on a cloudy day. And what the net had learned to discriminate was how forests look in cloudy and sunny days.
This has been a problem for decades, and we still haven't solved it. So hopefully that won't cause any issues for me later on. the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Now, at this point, you're screaming in the comments, asking why I'm showing a decades-old PBS documentary like some kind of underfunded middle school teacher yapping on about AI. I thought this was a video about turning your hand into a keyboard. It is, but what I'm about to do is just so utterly deranged. What you really need to take away from this is that thanks to over half a century of groundbreaking scientific research, it is technically possible to throw a bunch of categorized data at a computer and whack it a few times to make simulated brain cells learn how to sort through and identify new data that it's never even seen before. And that data can be anything, as long as it's in the same format as the data that was used to train it. So, what if I could train my own neural network by taking a bunch of pictures of my hand in different angles, categorize them based on the direction I'm pointing, then have the C920 from earlier take new pictures loads of times a second to ask some demons trapped in my computer what key it needs to press? That's right. I want to use decades of groundbreaking scientific research for the noble goal of giving myself carpal tunnel. Using a neural network instead of just picking out points on the screen should have the benefit of not needing to be so exact with my hand position or worry as much about the lighting changes. An image classification AI like this can be super accurate, but the key word here is can be. Remember that much like a newborn baby, we can't really control or understand what the neural network is learning. Researchers actually often refer to machine learning as a black box because all we can really do is provide as much input data as possible, train it the best we can, and just hope that whatever output we get ends up being hopefully, maybe, mostly coherent. Combine all of this with the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, plus I did all of this 5 years ago before the invention and distribution of modern AI tools like ChatGPT, and it's incredibly likely that this is about to go horribly wrong. There's loads of ways to make your own machine learning model, but a good starting point for idiots like me is Google's Teachable Machine site, which uses TensorFlow, so that's what we're going with. I created a bunch of categories for some of the keys I want to press, and began taking hundreds of pictures of my hand while moving it around slightly, but keeping the same general gesture for each of them. After doing this for the first few inputs, I decided now would be a good time to actually test if this even works at all, which means we have to train the model. We're only simulating the learning process of a human brain here, so yeah, it's gonna take a while to run on slower PCs, and it's only gonna get worse and worse as we add more input data. But it's important to run a test to make sure my plan is actually possible before wasting a bunch more time on this. Once that was finally done, I activated the webcam to test it out. And to my utter shock and amazement, it's basically perfect. Well, except for one small issue. If my hand isn't in the frame, or even if it is, but I'm not specifically doing one of the input gestures, it'll just guess the best match from the available options, meaning it's pretty much always going to be trying to do something, even when I want to stand still and do nothing. Luckily, this turned out to be a pretty easy fix, though. We just need to add one extra category to do nothing when I'm not pointing anywhere. I also added a jump gesture, which will eventually be used to press the spacebar whenever I open my palm like this.
Up!
Another round of training later, significantly longer this time, and I'm halfway there to making the world's dumbest keyboard. You can see each class has this bar showing how confident the AI is in what it's seeing. It'll always be looking for the closest match, and sometimes it gets a little confused, but the closer it is to 100%, the better. Figuring out what key to press is only half the battle though. I still need a way to actually send the keyboard input. The right way to do this would be to download the model we just created and use it in Python and blah 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 blah. I've just decided to take the quick and dirty route by turning to a good old friend instead. Auto hotkey. This is an insanely powerful program that can be used to quickly automate basically anything based on basically anything. When I press this regular key on my keyboard, for example, turned into this combination of keys instead. In this case, I decided to make a Frankenstein combination of my original idea and the new neural net. This absolutely awful script checks these specific locations on the screen and then sends a keyboard input based on the colors there instead of trying to use points on the actual webcam image. This does mean that if I move the preview window even slightly, I have to manually reprogram every part of the screen to check. But hey, at least I don't have to worry about the lighting in the room or constantly moving my hand to the exact right position. Now, I know this is bad. I know there are better ways to do this. But counterpoint, this entire video is a stupid idea and there is no right way to turn your hand into a keyboard. This is a tutorial on how to give yourself carpal tunnel and nobody should do this. I also made this 5 years ago when I thought a pie file was something you could eat. So just shut up, okay?
Tastes like shit. What is it?
Anyway, we still have a lot more work to do, but now that I have something that kinda works, I decided to call up a couple of my friends to show them what I was making.
This is the worst thing in the world.
I really don't see the problem, to be completely honest.
Well, I was about to, but first we need to add a few final touches.
How should I open my inventory? Should I do like that?
Oh,
This
yes.
can be inventory.
So I went to add a new class for the inventory, but came to the horrific realization that I had somehow closed the tab without saving.
Wait, what? Where's it gone?
Uh-oh.
I swear to God, if I have to redo this.
I had to redo everything. Luckily, I did still have the last exported preview to reference from, but all the classes and the pictures had to be taken from scratch, and of course I had to retrain the entire thing.
Gotta close some tabs. It like maxes out my CPU with Chrome. I don't think this is very optimized.
After that, I noticed some of my inputs weren't even detecting properly, so I had to take a few extra pictures for those as well.
Now save, you fucking fool.
Yeah, oh my God, chill. Save to drive. Oh my God, wait, is this gonna upload? It's gonna upload every single fucking image. Oh, you have to be kidding me.
While I wait for that, I made some more tweaks to my horrendous auto hotkey script, which works super well with no issues whatsoever, and I added one more input to press the shift key.
Oh, it hurts so much. It hurts my hand.
Yeah, I probably could have chosen a better gesture for that one, considering I was about to spend the next 2 days trying to speedrun Minecraft on this, but, you know, oh well. It's not like wrist injuries are permanent, right? With all the stuff I could think to add pretty much done at this point, I trained and uploaded the model one last time. But for some reason, everything just fell apart completely here. The preview started running at 2 seconds per frame, not frames per second, seconds per frame. And for some reason, despite it saying everything was fully up to date, Google kept reverting everything back to an ancient version of the model that didn't have any of my new input data.
What the fuck? It's back to the old one now. It's back to like the one that is even older than it was before.
Eventually, I tried to just retrain it, but even that wouldn't work without crashing anymore.
Are you fucking... You have got to be kidding me.
The only possible explanation I can come up with here is that our project file was now officially cursed.
Why? Again? It won't let me train. Is it just fucking corrupted somehow now and I have to start again?
I fucking hope not.
Yeah, so I have no idea what happened here, because even my recording files are corrupted at this point, and I have no idea how I fixed it. All I know is that I must have spent a few hours ignoring the obvious warning signs from God to stop trying to make this abomination a reality, and eventually got it working again. Which meant that it was finally time to put my new keyboard to the test. And what better way to do that than to try and speedrun Minecraft on it?
Oh, this is so stupid. This is so stupid.
This was absolutely painful.
Spawn point. Up! Oh my God, up! Up! Ah! That was intentional.
I spent about 10 hours in total streaming with this thing over 2 days and gave myself the worst wrist injury of my life.
I got a pearl! There it is, there's a portal. Okay. Oh God, okay. Let's just dodge and weave, Up, up, up! I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm so close. No!
To be fair, the wrist pain is mostly my fault for coming up with this idea in the first place. But you know what isn't my fault? This.
Oh my God. I didn't press that. Jump. Forward. Jump. I'm not doing that!
Yeah, so it turns out that neural networks have this really cool and awesome feature where they hallucinate and make shit up just to fuck with you. Meaning I never knew when my keyboard was about to misidentify a gesture and absolutely ruin my game.
Ah! No! No!
This video showed the process of making this abomination, but if you want to see the rest of my experience actually using it, I made a second part that comes out tomorrow and is absolutely hilarious to watch if you like seeing me suffer the consequences of my own actions. Look, if you made it this far, you're probably going to enjoy it, so go set a reminder or watch it now if it's already out. While I edit this video, like literally as we speak right now, I'm currently at Open Source where I've brought my AI along with a bunch of other abominations for people to try in person on a shared Minecraft server, and hopefully, if all goes well and I can get internet working, we're going to be streaming that later today right here on YouTube. So if you want to be there to help me torment the public, I hope to see you there. Okay, I need to finish and upload this because it has been 5 goddamn years.